Welcome back. So now we're going to talk about how you negotiate with your business angel. And here's that little thought experiment to help you through it. Pretend this is your company, the total value of the company, and an investor wants to buy this amount in blue. One investor tells you, I'm going to give you $10,000 for 10% of the company, but I'm going to give you access to my marketing team, my lawyers, my accountants, and a customer base. We're going to get through this and we're going to be great together. Okay, that's one deal. The other person says, I'm going to give you $40,000 for 20%, but I won't give you any support. All I can give you is financial support. I don't have the time to fool with you right now. Which one do you take? And they have very different implications, because when it comes to valuation, is your firm worth $100,000, as this person implies, or is it worth $200,000, as this person implies? Obviously, this is a degree of negotiation. And the one thing that I have to point out, and my students always fall into this trap, is they always choose one or the other. They're only choosing the options that are presented to them. You can always choose another option. You can come back to the first investor and say, well, this guy's giving me $40,000. He's basically doubled the value of the firm. Can you make me the same offer? $10,000 or $20,000 for 10% of the firm, and include all of those terms. Or you come back to the first person and say, since you're not providing me anything, I'm going to need $80,000 for 20% of the firm. Okay, so anything can be negotiated. However, you need to have realistic expectations of the value of your firm, unless you want the deal to fall through. But who wants a deal to fall through, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about here. Specifically, this divergence in the value deals with the value of intangibles, right? In corporate finance, you've got assets that you can use as collateral. Maybe you've been selling stock. There's cash flow. So you're dealing with a decision based on risk. You can make a somewhat informed decision as to the value of the firm. But when you're dealing with intangibles, there's no way to know exactly how much it's worth, right? This is a cool idea. It's a piece of technology. The market is forming. We don't have any real way of knowing what the future value will hold. Okay? That's where this negotiation process comes in. So we can negotiate the value of a firm. Other things that we can negotiate are the structure of the firm. Now, there can be different things that you would put in there. For example, the corporate governance of the company can be part of the negotiation. Corporate governance can be things like, what does your board of directors look like? What does your managerial structure look like? Because these are investors, now they have a say in this. Okay? Do you want your investor to sit on the board of directors or not? That's another important question. Now, because of this value of intangibles, another thing that you look at in the structure can be the type of shares that are issued. So what kinds of shares are going to be issued? How many shares are going to be issued? When can they be sold to the public? And a lot of venture capitalists also, but business angels will opt for what we call convertible preference shares. Convertible preference shares means I don't really know how much the company is worth right now, so we're going to make a valuation at a later date. Okay, convertible preference shares. Now the other thing, whoops, you guys, sometimes this camera is funny. So the other thing that you're going to look at is the terms. Now some terms can be easily negotiated and some maybe not, right? Most business angels, and venture capitalists also, by the way, but most business angels are not going to negotiate on certain things like your rights to issue extra shares, right? If they say that they're going to pay for this amount, they're going to pay this amount for this amount of equity, you can't go back behind later and start issuing extra shares. They don't want their value to be diluted, right? So that's something that's usually not negotiable. Other things they may not want to negotiate on would be the timing, like when can those shares be sold. That of course ties into structure as well. Now some things that might be negotiable, right? They may be willing to compromise with you in terms of hiring and firing of senior managers. Okay, that may be something that you can do together, or maybe they just let you do it. Some companies will say that if a check is going to be signed, it has to be signed also by the business angel as well. Okay, so there's a lot of these terms that can be negotiated. We'll talk more about terms in a later playlist. I'm just giving you the basics right now. So there's another thing that you need to consider, and that is the fact that contracts are never complete, right? at some point you still have to trust people, right? You can try to make the most complete contract possible, and you'll notice more experienced business angels will have contracts that are very complete with regards to protecting them financially, whereas more beginning business angels may be focused on other things, right? More of control aspects or some other different aspects like that. Anything, of course, can be negotiated, but just remember that no contract is perfect. The best thing you can do is keep an open and honest relationship with your business angel right up front and throughout the process. So I hope you've enjoyed this playlist. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Or pardon me, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm looking forward to seeing the next one. As always, give me a like, that's a thumbs up. Subscribe, and put in the comments, what kinds of things do you think you would like to see in a contract with a business angel? I'll see you in the next video.